Hi everyone, here's Ned Coke. We are at the end of the week starting on April the 8th. Also today marks the end of our Western Hemispheric Trade Conference. Just ended a few hours ago. We conduct this conference every year in Laredo. In fact, given your projects, you could have presented in this conference online or face-to-face. So consider this in the future for projects that you're working on that involve data analytics using WAR PLS. We have a PLS application symposium that is part of the conference, and the symposium runs every year. It's essentially one session or two of the conference where we have several presentations. Sometimes we have 6, 7, often from students. And I also run a workshop on WAR PLS that is more technical, and that's for typically for folks who are doing their doctorates. Okay, so we have for this week we had by 1 p.m. today we had that was the deadline for module 4. Everyone but one person completed. I cannot tell which person has not completed. I cannot give information about individual performance in public. But the person who has not completed knows who or she is. It's just someone who has not submitted the assignment for today. So because of that, chances are that not all the grades will be A in this course, and occasionally we had this throughout the course. I should, since we're not going to, we haven't had the midterm exam, and this is a 7-week course, I will not be submitting mid course grades because it wouldn't make much sense to submit them. Even for the person who did not submit, I'm not completely settled on a B for that person. And for the others who are completing all of the assignments on time, I cannot guarantee an A for the course, but it would be an A for the submissions so far. So it's a bit pointless for me to submit midterm grades, especially because the course is 7 weeks long, so it's a very short course. Generally speaking, everybody is doing well. Most people are doing well in this course. Even the person who missed the deadline today can still get a very good grade in this course. Okay, so we do have the submissions for next week. Then we have module 5. The deadline is module 5. The deadline is 1 p.m. on Friday. This one is based on an actual study. What I did for this study was to create some data that reflects what I've seen in the actual study that I conducted. The findings are very similar to the actual study, and I hope you find it interesting because it employs moderating effects analysis, which that type of graphs that you're going to see for module 5, and moderating graphs, the 3D and the 2D moderating graphs, you typically don't see them almost anywhere other than in WAR PLS, particularly when you use structure cohesion modeling, because traditionally structure cohesion modeling software tools do not generate the intermediate measures that are the ones used for that type of moderating effect representation. Also, I should tell you that I received an email from Institutional Assessment and they're telling me that the faculty evaluation or the student evaluations of the faculty or of the courses will be available soon. I think they will run between the 15th and the 21st. So please complete those faculty evaluations. It's particularly important that all complete in this class because the class is small. So if only a few people complete, then you end up having a very biased evaluation of the course, either positive or negative. The important thing is to complete that. One final thing I wanted to say, so I noticed that there are no other questions that I saw here. I'll be happy to answer them. As always, I'm interested in knowing if there are things you don't agree with and what you're learning, if you have additional questions. So I've been answering them here under Module 1, which is our generic forum module. One final comment I would like to make is that there are quite a few companies out there that in various countries, for example Singapore, England, that use WordPLS to do data analysis that use questionnaires, and they are commissioned by companies to find out ways of improving the customer satisfaction. Quite often that's what companies want to know, or what could improve sales. And in a project like that, one could if one does a careful project with a model of this complexity, or maybe a bit more complex than this, but not by much. Maybe this one has 5 variables, let's say a model with 7 variables. That person or that firm could charge as much as $200,000 for the entire project, and in the end they would come up with a report that would be similar to this report here, maybe a little bit more detail, maybe a bit more advice, more discussion of anecdotal data, maybe a few interviews and some summaries of interviews, but the core would be the quantitative analysis. And I know this because I have helped some of, in fact, I regularly am asked to be part of the group of co-authors in the report. One that comes to mind is a project that was conducted by this company in London for this large retailer in the UK, and the retailer that they did the work for is Mark and Spencer. So let me get it here. Mark and Spencer. Yeah, this is the one. Mark and Spencer. It's a multinational retailer in with headquarters in Paddington, London. So we had this this project, and so they focus on various items, but they sell food. So they operate in the space of AGB. So you can read more about them here. There are always criticism and controversies, but this is a large company, relatively large, so $11 billion in revenues recently. So it's a sizable company, and so I participated in this project. It was an interesting project. I always tell students If you are invited to participate in a project like this, like it was in my case, there was a meeting that I had to attend, and they basically said, look, the meeting is going to be at the 10th floor of this building at and near on this particular street. And then I just found out that it was near a station in the London Tube. I think it was Piccadilly Circus. So I was just expected to show up there for the meeting. So I booked the flight. I arrived the day before. I then went from the hotel to the place of the meeting earlier, much earlier, to make sure that I would not be late. And then I was just doing things, walking around there and doing a few other things until the time of the meeting. And then I was there 5 minutes before the meeting. And that's how you do these things. You don't wait to travel on the day of the meeting. Typically for this type of situation, for this type of meeting in another country, you would want to travel the day before, just in case there is a delay in the flight or anything like that. Of course, if there is a delay, you may have to tell them you're not going to be able to attend, right? If you don't want that to happen, then you may want to go 2 days before. But there were typically for something like that, if you don't make to the meeting, there are no excuses. You just don't make it to the meeting, you don't get paid. You pay for the trip from your own pocket because you don't deliver the service that you promised to deliver, and so on. So in this case, I was going to get paid regardless. I would get paid less, but regardless, I would get paid because I contributed to the report. And they wanted me as a co-author and as a participant in the meeting because there are technical questions that the company doing the analysis, they could answer, but they want me there in case there were more difficult questions that say someone from the company who is an expert in structural cohesion modeling could ask. And having me there would guarantee that they would be able to answer any question because I developed the software and I know enough about the algorithms to answer basically any question. If there is a question I cannot answer, I'll just answer something and then I'll tell them that I will follow up later, but it would have to be someone with perhaps 10 years of experience and knowledge in advanced statistics to give me a question like that. So, or someone who is more familiar with a different type of analysis that the software does not implement and that I'm not familiar with. That would be a possibility as well. But if the question is related to the software, then I would be able to answer it. And you're getting to the level with these several analysis that we're doing in this data analytics course. You're going to get to the level where you can answer quite complex questions, and you could actually provide these types of services. And as you can imagine, they pay reasonably well. We're talking about maybe $1,000 an hour in pay, between $500 and $1,000 in pay. So it's quite handsome pay. So it's a lot of work, but the pay is significant, and you can actually set up companies around the use of WorkPLS. So there are many companies around the world that the main tool that they use to analyze company data and provide results is WorkPLS. So thank you for watching this video and have a good day.